We are all in a massive shift. We are all in a massive awakening that, regardless of whether you want to admit it or not, regardless of what your beliefs are, it doesn't actually matter. I believe we are all souls here for an experience, and you get to choose who you have in your life, who you allow in your life, and what you do with your life. September has been filled with global chaos, with grief, with sadness, with anger, with massive changes, and a lot of uncertainty that is brewing. There are a lot of questions, but what September is also filled with is a massive, intensive, energetic portal, energetic shifting, and this monumental time that we are being asked to step into. And today on this podcast, I'm going to share with you what you can do to remain grounded, to remain centered, to feel really good, and also have crisp clarity on where you are, what you're doing, and how you're moving forward. Today, we are diving into how to protect your energetics in times of global chaos. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is why this is all happening. Now, if you listen to my 2025 energy reading, which we are already starting to prep the 2026 energy reading, so I'm really excited about that, and the details will be coming soon. But in my 2025 energy reading, one of the things that I said within side of September is that there are going to be a lot of births as well as a lot of deaths that are happening. And there is a bigger reason why. 2025 is a year that we are ending cycles. So there can be a huge movement that is coming to an end, not because it wasn't right or because, source didn't like it, but because it's opening up space for new leaders, more aligned truths. It's opening up space for bigger voices, for more consciousness to come in. And so that's part of what we're feeling and what we're experiencing right now. So we're experiencing this massive shift that is happening within inside of the world on a conscious level. Now, the other thing that we are experiencing is this true expansion of consciousness. So one of the things that we are moving into is an ascension. And when we move into an ascension, like the number one focus of true ascension is a conscious shift. And one of the things that we have created, energetically speaking, and this is what my guides have been sharing with me, is we have created a world of true separation between fake in reality, separation between one side and the next, separation between your faith and how you live your life, separation between one human being and the next. And one of the main things that my guides speak about when we talk about ascension of any kind or expansion as a soul and evolution as a soul is the fact that we are being asked as a global community, as a community of conscious souls that exist here on Earth, to come back together as one. One of the things that they showed me down the road, it's definitely not happening in 2025 or 2026, is the pure connection and the true connection of a global community. And when we talk about having a global community, yes, can there be differences of opinions and beliefs and differences as to what people do and how they live their life? Yes. But as a global community, we're supposed to be supporting and uplifting and guiding and protecting one another. Well, how do we get to that point of helping people to truly see and feel and understand the changes that are absolutely necessary is by having these things, the opposite, in your face in a very, very powerful way. And just last week, we experienced it on 5 or 6 or 7 different levels, depending on what comes across your feed or what you're able to be aware of and take in. So, part of the reason, and this is something I talk about when I talk about healing, it's also very true when we talk about expansion, when we talk about a shift in consciousness, is that if we want to truly raise our consciousness and we want to go like way over here, but we're kind of stuck, absolutely, we have to have the greatest pull in the opposite direction. So if we want to see great light and great connection and great community and great support and an ending of the numbness that social media and reality TV shows and the screen has created for us, as well as people's inability to process their traumas or even willing to look at them for whatever reason, we have to bring that pendulum back in the farthest way possible to really create an impact. And one of the questions that I have gotten lately is like, is God making this happen? Now, I have very specific beliefs and understandings due to the channeling that I do, the connection that I have with Source, as well as all of the souls that I communicate with that have passed over. So I'm not just talking about guides and angels and Source, but I'm talking about the souls that are on the other side that get to deliver to me their version of heaven. And I will tell you what, it is different for the souls. Their version of heaven is different, but there are many common themes. In one of the most pronounced common theme that has been given to me for the last, I don't know, at least 11 years, but I also knew this and understood this as a child when I was unconsciously connecting with beings, was that we 100% have control of our reality and what happens. Nobody's up there making it happen. We're not pawns to a bigger power that doesn't exist on the planet. If we're pawns to something that exists on the planet, that's a topic for a whole nother day. But we are not pawns to Source or God. We are creating this. And in every single creation that we have, there's a reason why it was created. Now, these creations of tragedy, of killings, of murder, of, school shootings, whatever it is, aren't because we need to see the bad that's happening. It's because we're creating them with the disconnect that we have from one another and the disconnect that we have from self, as well as where we are not supporting each other as a global community in the way that people actually need support. So it's not that God is like, oh, they need to see more, they need to see more, they need to see more. It's that the actions that we're taking and the vibration that we're aligning in is actually creating these. Now, the universe doesn't just work by happenstance, and it doesn't just work on the space of like accidents. We are, because we're in this vibration and we are creating these really powerful experiences, we also get the opportunity to witness these experiences, allow them to penetrate through the walls of protection that we have up, penetrate through our very strict opinions that prevent us from hearing other people or seeing other people. And they're meant to be able to come deep within inside of ourselves to touch our souls so we actually understand our clarity around what happened and where we need to make decisions and make different choices and what we personally can do. That's what is happening because we are about to move into a time when everything is changing and things are going to be magnified and augmented for the next 9 years. It's gonna be intense. And if we don't start grounding ourselves in on many different levels, 2026 and beyond is going to be very, very challenging to navigate because we are being asked to navigate the future from a soul perspective, not from fear, not from wounded beliefs, not from our trauma, not from any of those things that keep us out of our very highest vibration. And when we are in our very highest vibration, when we're connecting to that level and we're coming up on an ascension right now, which allows us to raise that vibration, we have more connection to our soul if you've done the work correctly. Otherwise, you might think you have a higher vibration, but you really don't. So when we're truly doing that higher vibration work, we have a deeper connection to our soul, and our soul holds the truth. Our soul has that information. It has that clarity. It has that guidance. It has that knowing that we absolutely need to make these decisions, but also to feel much more grounded as these things come about. And there's going to be a lot more of these that come about. There really is. We are only halfway through September. Okay. So I'm going to share with you what you can do to really ground yourself in the here and now. And I'm going to give you quite a few examples of what you can do on 3 different levels. Okay. And this is really important because if you've watched any of my teachings, whether you're a part of my membership or whether you've joined any of my courses or you just listen to me, I talk about the fact that we are whole beings. So we are not just a soul. We are not just energetic. We're not just a physical body. We don't just have our mindset. We have our thoughts, which are our beliefs. We have our emotions. We have our physical body. We have the actions that we take physically. We have our spiritual self, which is our soul, and we have our energetics, which are affected no matter if you're connected to your soul or not. Your energetics are feeling it. Whether you want to admit it or not, your energetics are feeling it. But a lot of the times when our energetics are feeling it, we chalk it up to, oh, I'm sick, or I have a cold, or I have, whatever it is. So these things that I'm going to give you are going to help you to navigate all of it because we are all in a massive shift. We are all in a massive awakening that regardless of whether you want to admit it or not, regardless of what your beliefs are, it doesn't actually matter. Regardless of what emotions you hold, every single person is experiencing it on the level at which they need to feel it and process it, but we don't have to have it to be that intense. Okay, so I'm going to go through some things that are going to help you. You might want to grab a piece of paper or a pen and write these things down, okay? So for one, there are absolutely some actions that you can take, and this is very, very important. And this is it feels very common sense like, but I feel like it needs to be reiterated. So for one, stop consuming. And I don't mean that on a turn a blind eye. I don't. But we live in a world where everything is literally at our fingertips the moment it happens, and there's so many perspectives. There's also a ton of AI that is going around. And if you have not listened to my AI podcasts, you might want to listen to them. Last week was such a great example of how AI can be very, very dangerous and how using your psychic abilities is going to be so much more powerful when it comes to like AI or when it comes to like mass media. We're just putting in that plug. If you haven't watched those, go take a look at that. But for one, stop consuming. There's so much stuff going around. Now, getting information, understanding what's going on is very important. But what we oftentimes do is we find something that's going on and then we just deep dive into it instead of taking a moment to truly see what went on, but then running it through your own intuition. Really looking at the energetics of, okay, what is this? What is this showing us? What is this telling us? What actually really happened? Because there are so many opinions. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is, okay, what the chaos is, what the tragedy is. There are so many opinions. There's so many rabbit holes that people go down. There's so much AI that's created. There's so many different angles that are thrown at us that it can become very consuming and very overwhelming. And then we totally lose connection to what that intuitive thought is or what that intuitive hit or even what your soul is telling you about the situation. Because remember, regardless of what situation it is, there is some kind of connection to you. Something you need to know about it, or you wouldn't be existing on this planet at this time. Now, does it mean that you need to be totally consumed with everything? No, and I'm going to get into that after. But stop consuming and shut out the noise. That's going to allow you to really tune into yourself and get a better idea of what is important for you, where your energy can be, and it's going to help you to understand what's going on and why. This is absolutely crucial. And you want to only focus on what you can, okay? Number 2, get out in nature. Like, I am a huge nature lover. I'm also a huge animal lover. I have 2 cats on my desk, one in my chair, one on my desk right now, okay? And yes, I know that not everybody loves nature, not everybody loves animals or anything like that. But there is something so powerful about the purity of it, about the pure vibrations that run through nature, of the pure vibrations that most animals hold. There's something so pure and they're so giving with their energy. And I do say there in giving, meaning plants and trees and nature and even rocks, mountains, ocean, waters, rivers, whatever it is so giving with its energy and it truly is healing. So if you don't know how to heal, if you don't know how to ground, if you don't know how to do the energy work, getting out in nature, even just a couple times a week, taking those really deep breaths, allowing yourself to feel the silence in nature or to hear the animals, cuddle up with your animal if you have one, borrow someone's animal for God's sake. Do something because that is naturally on a very powerful, high vibrational level going to start helping you balance out your energetics so it's not feeling so intense. Number three of something that you can do action wise is you can absolutely purge and detox. And in times like this, we hold a lot of stuff in. I'm not just talking about the things that we consume, but I'm talking about the things that we are, I don't mean visually, just visually consuming. I also mean consuming with inside of our body. And sometimes in situations like this, some people can stress eat. Some people can turn to things that aren't as healthy, whether it's, substances. But in times like this is a time where we need to start to purge and detox the junk that is inside of us. Meaning it's a great time to do a cleanse. It's a great time to look at what is important for me to cut out? What does my body actually need? Where do I need to release things that I've been holding on to? Because naturally speaking, energetically speaking, the universe is trying to help you do that. Like it's trying to help you do that. Every single thing that we have experienced in the past 6 years, honestly. I saw a post the other day that said, can we bring back 2019 when it was normal? And it's so right. We've experienced so much and we're holding it. And a lot of the times we want to numb ourselves or we hold that trauma or we hold that experience. And so one of the things that you can do right now is start to purge, is allow, whether it's sauna related, whether it's a detox, like a cleanse related, whether it's cutting out certain foods. And if your body naturally wants to do that, do that. I will tell you, I don't say this loosely or lightly. I am always in perfect alignment with the energetics. I don't have a choice because of my connection with energy and because of the connection with the guides and everything that I do. I have not been able to eat for 3 days, not because I'm sad or anything like that. My body is doing a massive cleanse. I had a fever of over 101 degrees yesterday, all freaking day, all day because my body was freaking purging, not because I'm sick. Like I did healing work. I woke up this morning perfectly fine. I'm sitting right in front of you. It's because our bodies are naturally detoxing right now. They want to. So listen to your body and do those natural detoxing, okay? Also, some people love this and some people hate this. Do your journaling. Do your digging in. Don't keep those thoughts in your head. Don't keep those fears in your head. Don't keep those questions in your head. Either talk to somebody who can hear you, even if they don't have the same beliefs as you. I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to over the course of the last week that we don't have the same beliefs, and it's absolutely okay. Talk to somebody who has compassion, they have understanding, they can see you for who you are, they can respect your beliefs, or just journal it out. But if we keep everything inside, we keep repeating, it's building these emotions that we're holding, and our body doesn't know how to process it. And added emotions when we're already experiencing all this overload of energetics is not a great thing for the body. This is where people start to feel very overwhelmed. Like me, my entire body ached yesterday. And I knew it was like a massive cleansing and a massive purging for so many different reasons that I was experiencing. So I go with that. But if you have a headache, if you have body aches, if you start to get sick, if you have like a head cold, it's all telling you something. It's all helping you to see something. And it's not because you're sick. It is more likely directly related to the low vibrational things that you are holding on to that the universe right now is helping you to clear. Okay. So let's get into some energy work that you can do. For one, you can do healing. Inside my membership, there's plenty of healing modules. I also have a free resource called Journal to Heal. Healing is a vital right now. With the amount of emotions and the amount of impact that everything that we have all been experiencing, as well as the amount of purging that the earth itself is doing and the cleansing process that is going on, healing is a must. I'm saying this, and I don't say this lightly. You have to look at the traumas that come up. You have to address them. You have to be able to witness and sit with it and feel those big emotions in order to actually process them. And I know you might not be able to do it on your own. That's why you want to find a healer to do that. If you don't know healers, I train tons of healers. I have plenty of people I can refer you to. You just have to reach out and ask. But doing your healing work is incredibly important, okay? Number two, doing your grounding work and including doing some earthing. So grounding and earthing are different. Grounding is sending your energy into the ground and really attaching that energy to the ground. Now, most people feel as if you have to go like to the core of the earth to ground. Please do not do that. I do not teach that. What I want you to do is I want you to visualize yourself. I want you to visualize the energy that's going on within inside your body, whether you have a lot of chaos in your head or you feel a lot of motion and energy in your heart space, wherever it is. I want you to put your attention on that. And then I want you to almost like surround that in a bubble. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, with your focus and attention, send that energy all the way down your body and kind of like push. You can even push with like your core muscles, your pelvic muscles, pushing it all the way down through your legs and into the ground about 18 inches down. And I want you to see this little hook hooking in. That's going to help you really ground in. It's going to help you to push all the chaotic energy that's within inside your body into the ground to help transmute it. Now, one of the things that you do want to be aware of in these times is there is a lot of chaos energy in the earth, and the earth energy is doing the best that she can to process it. But one of the things that I would suggest is instead of connecting to earth energy to bring earth energy back up, unless you can specifically connect to Gaia, what's better right now is bringing source energy down, is bringing God energy down, goddess energy, whatever you connect with. I don't care what your faith is. It doesn't actually matter at all, but bringing that energy down, because what we don't want you to do is be pulling the chaos up from earth energy into you. Now, again, if you can connect specifically to Gaia energy, that's different. You can pull that energy back in to help you cleanse. Otherwise, use source energy, God energy, Buddha energy, Allah energy. I don't care what it is. Bring that down through you to really help cleanse what's going on and to restabilize you. Now, aside from grounding, there's also earthing, which is kind of what I was talking about before with going out in nature, but actually putting your feet on the ground, taking your shoes off, feeling the ground. It helps you to be more connected. It helps you to bring all of that mind chaos and all of those questions and all of that disconnect, whether it's because it's too hard for you to watch or whether it's because there's just so much going on, but it helps you to truly see yourself and plant yourself in this life, in this moment right now. And that's what we want to do just right here, right now. You're standing outside. It's 4:00 in the afternoon. You're feeling the earth underneath your feet. I don't care if it's even cement. If you could find a little piece of grass to do that, that's better. Or sand or something, whatever it is. But you want to feel the earth and feel your connection. You are here. You are safe in this very moment right here, this second right here. Everything is at peace and it's okay. And that's going to absolutely very much help you. The third thing that you want to do energetically is I want you to sit in a quiet area, and I want you to do this after you've journaled, and I want you to connect to yourself. And as you're connecting to yourself, I want you to tune into that heart space, and I want you to ask, what is on my energy? And I want you to pay attention to the things that pop into your mind, the things that bubble up from within inside of you. And as they do, I want you to address them one at a time. And I want you can ask, why do I have this? And understand why you're holding it, because what is on my energy is going to tell you what is connecting to your energy. And I don't care who it is, nothing should be on your energy. Literally nothing. That is an energy leak. That is an energy siphon. Some are energy vampires, all that kind of stuff. And it just wears you out and you end up taking on that energy. And we don't do that. It doesn't matter who you are, psychic, healer, normal person. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not supposed to do that. So you can ask that question of why am I holding it? But even if you don't get an answer, what I want you to do in your mind's eye, I want you to see yourself grabbing hold of that. And I want you to move it off of your energy and put it out back where it goes or back into the universe. And I want you to do that to everything that's on your energy, whether it's your husband, whether it's your kid, whether it's your animal. It doesn't matter whether it's your guide. Your guide shouldn't be on your energy. I want you to take it and I want you to put it out. Then when you're done with that, I want you to do this one little thing. I want you to imagine the most beautiful color orb, kind of like a bubble. And I want that orb to be completely around you. And as you put that orb completely around you, I want you to, in your mind's eye, if you can see, if not, I just want you to feel that orb around you. I want it to hold that energy of love and of connection and of blocking out the outside world so you have that deeper connection to self. Okay. What's also going to be really powerful is if you can do a meditation or a healing from somebody who knows energetics. I have lots of free meditations and healings. Lots of them are inside my membership. There are also lots of other amazing psychics and healers out there that have their own energy healing and work. Those are absolutely phenomenal as well. But pay attention to your energy. That is crucial. Okay. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about before we close this up. And this is something that I think is super important. We live in a very powerful world of judgment and of criticism and of people watching other people under a microscope. I recently posted something about the passing of Charlie Kirk, not because I followed him, not because I believed in everything that he said, but because this was a being who was speaking his soul truth. He was speaking his truth. And he was sharing that. And he stood on stages and do that. And I also did. And I talk about people speaking the truth. I talk about connecting to your soul and understanding and speaking. And I encourage people to do that on so many levels. And somebody came at me and said, why didn't you post about the school shooting? Isn't that interesting? Here's why. And I'm going to share this information with you. And I encourage you to take this advice. Every single being that is here for a purpose, not for every purpose on the planet. Okay. That means that I absolutely 100% speak about speaking your truth. I absolutely 100% talk about understanding that truth, using your voice in the world, that you have a purpose here and that purpose is going to impact a lot of people. I don't speak about schools. I also don't speak about guns because I'm not open for a gun debate. So I focus my attention and I put so much of my energy in things that I believe in and things that I align with and things that I absolutely know I make an impact. My post was shared 54 times as of a couple of days ago when I saw it. So obviously, the people who are connected to me also resonate with that, and that I have an energetic connection with that that has the ability to make an impact. Do not waste your energy on trying to give your focus and attention and your energy to every single thing out there. We're not supposed to. You are not supposed to, as a soul and a being, spread your energy so thin that you are so concentrated in speaking on every little thing. Find that thing that you are meant to speak on. The more people who align with their true vibration and their true purpose here and really understand what their soul destiny is, it's why I do soul destiny sessions, is because everybody has a destiny here. Everybody has something they're supposed to be speaking about and sharing and contributing to the world. Find what that is. That's where you put your energy for change. That's where you stand up and speak. That's where you are that light that other people need to hear. And that light and that speaking and that standing up and that supporting that is going to be the energy that helps it to actually change. Just because we give something attention doesn't mean we're actually changing it. We can also be fueling the negative energy of it. So be very aware, and it can be so freaking draining to yourself, and it can be scattering, and it's almost always ego filled. It's almost always ego filled. But if you stay in alignment with your soul, you stay in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing and what your soul came here to do, that's how you can make an impact, and that's how you can start changing, and that's how we create less separation, more community, more connection, which is ultimately what we are here to do. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I did have a couple questions from the audience because I am doing this live. So I am going to read this question and answer this, okay? What if we have people in our lives who are not coping with their addictions and are toxic to be around, even if we want to help and love them very much, and they won't let us? Are situations like that something we are being asked to love, bless, and let them go? That is a very personal thing. It's case by case basis, but I'm going to give you an understanding of how I see things and what I understand from an energetic basis. We allow the people in our lives to be there. So whoever is in your life, you allowed them to be there. And as a soul existence, okay, this is how I really connect, and I can do a podcast on this, but your mother was your doorway to this life. it doesn't actually mean there's something you learn and experience through all the connections you have, even your family. I'm not a believer of it's your mom, it's your dad, it's your family, so you have to stay connected and committed and endure abuse. I don't believe that. I believe we are all souls here for an experience, and you get to choose who you have in your life, who you allow in your life, and what you do with your life. And so, if that were me in that situation, I do not allow anybody in my life who is toxic, who refuses to change, who just brings down the vibration. I don't care if they're family. I don't care if they're a partner. I don't even care if it's a child. I just don't. And what we also have to understand, and I know that might sound cold, but what we have to understand is that we can't change people. They have to be willing to change themselves. I don't care if you're the most amazing healer in the world. I could throw energy work at anybody. It doesn't mean that they're going to change until they're ready. So they're also making that decision. So I put very strong boundaries up in my life. And what always happens, like, I'm not disconnected with anybody in my family, because when I put boundaries up and I say what is allowed and what is expected and what I will tolerate and I won't, they start to do their work on their own. It's not because I force them to, it's because I set a boundary up. So I'm very particular on that. Now, as for grounding, yes, I said 18 inches. So there's another question saying 18 inches in grounding and not all the way down. Absolutely. It will feel better. It will suck less of your energy. I don't know who started that idea of bringing it all the way down. There are different situations you would bring the energy all the way down. But in this case, if you just want to be grounded, 18 inches down is going to feel the best. It's going to be most powerful for you. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for joining me on the Psychic Women Live podcast. I do go live on Wednesdays, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. There are going to be a couple weeks in the next couple weeks that I won't be doing the live podcast, but there absolutely will be a podcast for you to check out every Tuesday on my YouTube channel and on all podcasts. If you like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. And if there's something you'd like me to speak on, please be sure to comment that or send my team a message. And I will see you guys next time on The Psychic Women. Bye, guys.